Hello, folks. It's Tuesday, September 16th, 2025. As always, my name is Teodor Vladov, and I'm back with a really special, festive 60th episode of Keeping It Realistic, because today we will be celebrating 2 years since the very first episode of the show. And to properly do that, we have you, the wonderful Chaos Campus audience that has been continuously showing up for the past 2 years, as well as a fantastic mix of group founders and group members here with me in the live show. So, without any further ado, let me just say a heartfelt welcome, everyone, to everyone here with me, as well as to everyone watching live now or the recording. It's great. We have here Nikos, Kalina, Ricardo, Amit, Mariana, Vladov. I'm here, obviously, and Dhanushka. Welcome, guys. It's awesome to have you here. How are you
Thank
doing?
you so much. We're great. We're
Good.
excited.
Good. You're excited. That's great. Let me get the chat to see what people are saying. I Okay, let me see the stream numbers. The live dashboard is always so slow, but I see a lot already watching us. So, yeah, Arthur is here, Mario saying legends, talking obviously about you. Let's go. Hello, people from all over the world we have in this community. So, let me do a pop up window so that I can properly see what people are actually writing. And yeah, I have prepared a small presentation today. Here we want to talk a bit about the group itself. We want to talk about the power of community and also even speculate a bit about the future of visualization. But before that, I really want to share a small presentation with you if you're down for this, which I prepared especially for this occasion. So I'll start this and let's see if it works. One thing I really need to do right now is to make sure that everyone can see my shared screen. So give me a second, please. Screen sharing. Oh, and this one is very important. So I hope you see this.
Yes.
Yes.
You do. Great. So today we celebrate the second birthday of the show, and I really thought it would be a good idea to take a very brief look at the past 2 years of it. And obviously, if we want to do that, we have to start at the very beginning with our pilot episode, which aired on September 5th, 2023, and was only 28 seconds long. So you can see it in full length while we're talking here. And the truth is, the whole episode is just me assuming that our show didn't start for some reason, which it actually did. And so it was me slowly and steadily panicking over that for 28 seconds until I just stopped the stream. Now, in the end, we figured it out. We had a good 2 hour show, but truth is that the beginnings of the show were a bit rough, at least from a technical point of view. Back then, things were also pretty different. Instead of doing what we do today I am picking up thematically chosen projects that I then go into a lot of detail in when reviewing. Back then, I would just scroll through the whole group posts and comment on literally everything in the group. But the truth is that back then this was possible because the group was way smaller. It wasn't that active and there was way less to talk about. If I try to do the same now, it will result in a 6 to 8 hour show, which nobody wants to have. But I think that even then, going through everything in the group resulted in a bit of a surface level feedback, which wasn't that great, thinking back on it. Also, our covers used to look like this, which was kind of funky, honestly. It was cool. But the problem with those covers was that they didn't really correspond to the contents of the respective episodes. So they were kind of generic because every show would look like this. So we addressed this issue, and by the 12th episode, we introduced a new type of cover, the one that you see here, featuring some of the works that we are going to talk about during the show, and simultaneously also giving the artists a bit of exposure next to the Chaos logo, which is always a great thing to have. And this was so well received that I actually went back and created such covers for the first 11 episodes as well. So now, after 60 episodes, we actually have a unique cover art for each and every show. And I'm very, very happy about it because it It's really, really cool. Now, fast forward to September 2024. This is when we celebrated the first birthday of the show with a special episode during which we introduced many new ideas and plans about both the group and the show. And I gotta say, the community was very excited for many of those ideas. And I also am happy to say that we actually managed to implement almost all of them, and this to a great reception by the group members. We now have our beloved work in progress Fridays initiative, which is actively used by many and which I think many artists have really profited from a lot. We have image contests where every 2 weeks group members choose the best image from the past 14 days, which then becomes our new cover image. We also have scoreboards and rewards for the most active users, meaning that we actually actively reward activity in our group and those who engage with the community. We have challenges from time to time. Like currently, we have this storytelling challenge, the remise. So if everyone who's watching now and wants to, challenge their storytelling skills, please participate in this one. The group even has some goodies in the meantime, like this fully textured and populated 3D model of the Lighthouse house, which is made entirely with Cosmos assets and materials for the group members to download and just play around with. In recent times, we also started doing something really cool. We started inviting group members to join me in the show as co-reviewers, which is a total win-win for all sides involved, for the audience, for me, and obviously for those group members as well. And last but not least, we also have our own YouTube channel in the meantime, the Campus of Chaos, which is more or less a bit of an archive for all the episodes and shows happening directly in the group or Facebook Live, because Meta started deleting the recordings of those, and we needed a place to store them so that they don't get lost forever. So, to conclude, from my personal point of view, things are going great with both the show and the group. The show has its dedicated viewership. Every like a normal episode has around 600 to 800 views in the end, and episodes like this will have twice the numbers. And when it comes to the group, I think it's doing fantastic. It's very active, very supportive. We have amazing people, very talented artists, and it has also doubled in size since last year. Just so you know, I think this really needs mentioning. Now, with all of this being said, there was one thing which was bugging me a bit, and this was the following: like after the presentation for the first birthday of the show, Dhanushka, he is next to me. He reached out to me to say that he liked the show, he really liked the ideas that we introduced, but at the same time, he admitted that he expected more when it comes to the way we celebrated the first birthday of that show. And I know, Danushka, you don't like me saying this and you don't enjoy it here now, but the truth is that I really appreciate this happening, because to me it shows that you were comfortable enough to just reach out to, let's say, central figure in this community and just calmly share your opinion the way it is, even if it's like a form of constructive criticism. And I gotta say, first of all, I'm not immune against feedback. I'm giving feedback to all of you, but I can also receive feedback. And secondly, you were absolutely right. This is an extraordinary community, and I think it deserves an extraordinary celebration. So here we are now, 1 year after our talk and 2 years after the very first episode, celebrating the second birthday of this show in a very proper manner. We have the group founders, we have group members here, and this is how it should be, because contrary to most other groups out there, the Chaos Campus has this wonderful, unique mix of mentors and group and artists, and this should be reflected in a celebratory episode like this one. So, yeah, this was more or less it on my side. You heard now what I think or my take on the community and the show. And now, as next, I would love to hear your take on that. And the first one I want to hand it over to is actually not here today, as he has to be at the Autodesk University, but he still made sure to show up. So here he is.
Hey everybody at Chaos Campus. Happy second birthday to the community. If you were a toddler, I guess this would be the terrible twos, but with the Chaos Campus community, I know it's going to be the terrific twos. There'll be nothing terrible about it. It really is an awesome community. I love the way we all come together to encourage each other. I love the regular sharing of feedback. What could I do better with my image? How could I have improved my speed?
Sorry.
I love the chats with people from the industry. Lots of great things go on at the Chaos Campus, and all of this helps us learn. But also, I think it helps keep our motivation going for working on our art. It can be quite lonely, can be quite demoralizing, sat at home tapping away on a computer, and it's really nice to get together with like-minded people and have a place that feels like home. And I think that's what Chaos Campus provides. I will say it's kind of like I was liken community to being like the free feature that you get with Chaos software. Yeah, I don't need to go into the render settings and press enable to turn it on. It's just there, always enabled, and it comes along for free. And that happens thanks to Theo for organizing and arranging and running the Chaos Campus, but also, of course, to all of you who are part of the campus. Without you taking part, without you sharing your images and your artwork, without you commenting and chatting, really, that just wouldn't be a community, would there? So my thanks to you, my thanks to all of you, and I'm really sorry I couldn't be there. I would love to have been there live. It would be awesome. But I had to be in Nashville for the Autodesk University, and I know that makes it sound a bit like a game awards or a movie awards acceptance speech. I'm sorry I can't be with you tonight, but anyway, have an awesome meeting, and most of all, let's look forward to having a terrific second year, a terrific third year, a fantastic fourth year, a fabulous fifth year, and we'll just keep going. Many awesome years ahead of us, of all banding together, buying each other up, and just encouraging ourselves, and being a fun place to hang. So I'll see you all soon. Not at this event, but there'll be an event that I'll be at in the future. I'm sure of it, and I look forward to seeing you all then. Anybody who's in Nashville for Autodesk University, make sure you've popped by the booth. Excellent. We'll see you all soon.
That was awesome. That was awesome. This was a surprise, and yeah, cheers, obviously. So that was everything I wanted to share with you today, and now I want to continue asking you about your take on the group. I will gladly start off with Kali. Kali, you're to me you're the backbone of this community. People may not realize it because they don't see you as much as they see me, for example, or others. But truth is that everything that we talk about, every idea I have, I come to you with, and the best thing about it is that this is always met with excitement. This is just motivates and inspires me, because talking with Kali is always immer so motivating. I know it will work out. She's always like, oh yeah, good idea, let's do it. So yeah, you're very close to this community. How do you see the current state of the group and its development?
Likewise to you. So thank you so much for organizing this. And I do feel emotional about this event today. And I think it's great that you managed to gather this group. It's also been now on the 13th of September. It's been now 7 years that I'm with Chaos. And I think I was having a conversation today with someone, and they asked me like what kept me going for 7 years, and I think it's the sense that there's always something new that we can work on or build, and that allowance to do it, and that sense of also personal ownership and responsibility. And I mean, I have this within myself, and I think you very much have it as well. And you have this urge and that fire within you to connect as well and to create. So I think for me, communicating with you and also building this group together is something that is a great source of inspiration, fulfillment, and seeing that people are actually actively engaged in it, not just the numbers growing, because that's one thing. You can see numbers growing in terms of membership, but people actually find it as something that is a very valuable resource. And I think the magic components there are, first of all, you mentioned the words. You changed the styling and the design, but I still find it very punk, the group. It's very well structured because you're a very structured human being. but there's also the punk element to it. So you're not afraid to test something new, like organizing a live show where you have 7 guests, which not everyone would be willing to do, and live stream this show as well. So I think I love the punk element that you bring to it. You are not afraid to reach out to different members of the community and invite them to participate and be active participants in that, like the way you did it with Nikos, for example. And Nikos is also like one of the huge and foundational parts of what we have here with the Chaos Campus live show. So this sense of belonging and co-owning and co-building this together, I think it doesn't only go to the people that you see in the live shows, but also to the people that watch them, that comment, that ask questions, that give recommendations afterwards. Like all this thing and the energy behind it is fantastic. So I forgot the question. I don't know if I answered the question. I just shared a lot of emotions and feelings that I have towards this community, and yeah, this is it so far for me.
This is why we're here today, to be honest with each other. The question was, how do you see the current state of the group and its development? But you answered it, actually. People have this feeling of belonging together and actually making use of this community, and this is amazing. And talking about those people who watch that you mentioned, let me mention some of their names. I also mentioned in the beginning Arthur from the Common Point, Mario, Derek, Rosu, Ahmed, Mohammed, Vinaya, Anna, Abdi. There's so many watching, and also being happy to see Tom and to see all of you wishing us a wonderful day. And yeah, saying my haircut is cool. It's actually, I look like somebody from Hey Arnold, to be honest. But in an year from now on, it will be cool. I think I had a talk with my mom on this, and she was like, you look a bit wild. Don't you want to, kind of hide it under a beanie, or kind of tie your hair? And I was like, you know what? Because we're talking about the community. In our community, the process is a part of the thing. We don't only focus on the glossy outcome. We also see the process. So I've been, letting my hair grow for 2 years. You saw the very first show, I had such a long hair, and I didn't hide it. And now I won't hide how ridiculous I look right now. And in a year from now or two, I'll have a proper dreadlock hairstyle, but I will have shown those people that the process is part of the final outcome. So we're not hiding this here. So yeah, let's continue with the second one. Nikos, you've come around so much. You've seen so many communities. You have your own. How do you see the Chaos Campus community?
Well, thanks for the invitation. I'm honored to be here. Thank you guys for watching as well, for attending. It means a lot to us. I believe so much in communities. Every person that knows me, then he knows that I'm a community guy. Doesn't matter where I live, what I do, I need to connect with other people, regardless if it's online or on site. And this community was very special to me from the beginning. I realized that from the beginning, it's special because we care about sharing knowledge and supporting each other. And that's a very big thing. Also, I realized from the early days that we have people, professionals, experts, students, founders, all under one umbrella, caring and supporting. And that's what makes it so special. And I think, yes, we're growing, and yes, we're going to go bigger. But if we can keep our values and our philosophy, and we keep supporting each other on a way that we care about elevating one another, this will thrive. And that's why I'm so honored and proud to be part of this community. And yes, all of us, we're doing our best to make it successful. But I think it's already successful because look at us. This is amazing when people connecting every month and helping each other. Nothing makes it more special. I'm a big believer of on-site events, but then, after COVID, these kind of online events actually have a lot to offer. We can connect. It's the first time I see Amit on a screen, on the same screen, and we talk about all the time on Facebook. And that's amazing. So yes, this is very special to me. And thank you for organizing the event. And thank you for all your hard work, consistency, and energy that you offer on a weekly basis on the Chaos Campus. That means the world to us and the community. So thank you.
Awesome answer. Thank you so much. And talking about community, I see in the comments Peter Stulz, who will see tomorrow evening, actually. And a great friend and an awesome person. He was in your show. And
he's a very special. So say hi to him. He's
Yeah,
a great storyteller, very humble guy. And I remember I had the great memories from Berlin. Right, Kalina?
I'm also flying out tomorrow. We're gonna meet all of us before the event on the 18th because we have a
Okay,
meetup on
now I'm jealous.
Yeah. So we'll be missing you there for sure, but maybe next time. I would have also presented, in front of you. Really, really, I would have enjoyed this because last time I was there in the audience, and I gotta say something. I hope it's okay, Nikos, because
Yeah.
the evening before we were, in bars and stuff, and Nikos is a person who can celebrate, who can enjoy life a lot, and you can see it very clearly. But he's an incredible professional. Like he was the first one to go home, and the next day he had a 4-hour presentation which I was just there sitting and learning from, not so much the stuff because I knew a lot of the stuff already, but the way he presented, the way he structured everything, the way he was there in front of the audience. So I really love it when a person can be both, not only a person of having fun but also being a professional. So yeah,
Appreciate it.
we'll be missing you there for sure. But okay, talking about community and being so active, let's continue with Amit. Amit, you are officially the most active member of this community, writing so many feedbacks, supporting so many other artists. So you definitely are one of the reasons for the progress of this community. It must be said. So how do you see the current state of the group and how the way it has developed over the last, say, 2 years since the show started?
Yeah, I got it. I would just take 30 seconds because there was one request, like how Tom was requested to wear a hat and introduce himself. So even I have got one request. So if you can just give me 10 seconds, I'll quickly introduce that.
Sure.
Sure, just a minute. Hi guys, this is Amit from Kiosk Campus, and this is to D, who had just message saying that if you can intro yourself with the sunglasses, that would be really nice. I said, okay, fine, we'll do that. So this for you, D. Yeah.
Erica says you rule the planet, Amit. So yeah, you won the bet, I would say. And you also
Thank
look cool. We should have all been in glasses here.
My daughter was just saying, you look like a blind man, so don't wear the sunglasses for the full show, please. I said, fine. Okay. Yeah. Being a part of this community, it's it just been like yesterday. We have just started, the community we were part. We had that first show where I still remember the technical glitch that was going through, and then, the show went on for 2 hours. And from there, that point, till the time we have reached over here, there are so many, we have seen just the flight like this going. People joining in, coming in, mentors, seasoned artists, newbies, everyone, putting in their efforts to make this community like a family. And at this point of time, I can, I have made so many friends over here. In our days, this was very rare to see, a community. We just had the mentors from an institute or from a school where, you can go, you can ask for help. But this is something revolutionary. And there are so many groups and communities in Facebook, but the type of community that we have over here, campus, it's just like a family. At 2 o'clock in the night, also, if I see Dhanushka is there, I can just message him. That much personal, a touch that we have got through. Theo, anytime I'll just tell Theo, can you just come in on the call for 5 minutes? He just comes in a call and then we goes on for hours, talking. So that's the power of the community, the family that we have created. It's all thanks to you, Theo, Nikos. Thanks for who's the founder of this community. Thanks to you. That you have given us so much, and the amount of knowledge that we share every day through the works or through private talks or through the chats that we have, it's tremendous. You not find it anywhere else. So I'm really happy to be a part of the community, and I really thank all of you all for making me a part of this community and the family.
And we thank you back for being so active and helping so many others.
Thank you.
And now, as next, I'll be really curious to hear something from you, Vladimir, because I introduced you to this community last summer, if I remember correctly, during the Chaos Connect days. And but since then, I see you reacting to posts, so I see you take a look at it from time to time. So how do you rate and how do you see the Chaos Campus when you're in it compared to other communities and in general?
So for me, as a programmer, it's always very nice to see people use the software that we make. So sometimes when you deal with the code, you always think about the problems and the bugs and like how things could be faster or better and so on. But it's actually very nice to remember from time to time that actually people produce great stuff with it. And it's very refreshing for me every time I go to the group that there is something new and something that looks really, really good and reminds me why we're doing the whole thing, right? So for me, it's kind of a source of inspiration, I guess. Yes, we have the forums and other places, but they're really more for like technical support and not so much about final results. So I don't know. For me, it's a huge source of inspiration to keep doing what we're doing.
I can imagine. I cannot imagine coming up with a render engine like you did. Honestly, I think most people in your place would just be, enter every room like, hey, I came up with V-Ray, you know who I am. But you're the type of person who seems like, no, I don't want the attention. I don't want to be a center of everything. I just want to do my work and enjoy what I do, which is awesome from my point of view. But but I really enjoy seeing that you from time to time you're in the group, you check it out, and it's also inspiring to you because you can also see what people of different proficiency levels actually create with the chaos software from really different types of chaos software. So thank you very much for this and for being here once again. I appreciate. I know it's not your favorite thing to present and stuff, but it's awesome that you're here.
It's a pleasure being here. Thanks for the invite.
Mariana, you're muted, but you're next. You're very active in this group, and contrary to many of the people who we have in this community, you're actually not a pure 3D artist. You're actually an architect who visualizes. Apart from being an awesome dancer and painter, but now let's focus on being an architect and a 3D artist. What's your point of view on the Chaos Campus as a visualizing architect?
It's not a marketplace, as I already said. It's just a community where we can learn really, and we can share stuff, and we can learn together, actually. So this is really, really important for me. And I just went through all the images that was made from the beginning. I'm following that. I didn't went through all the images that are in the community, but just you can see how the quality is constantly growing, and it's really impressive. You can just compare it, from week to week. It's really amazing, and I think that it's thanks to this community because we are really learning together. And also reviewing is really helpful to come to make things better. So this is really something special for me.
So you also enjoy this tight-knit character of this community. We're being more like a family rather than, just this being just another render archive that there are talks
Exactly.
out there.
Yeah.
And it's useful to you. You actually learn something from it, you yourself.
Of course, yeah, a lot. Yeah, also, reviewing renders is something that I had to learn how to do it properly. So this was for me the new stuff, just to because I always I was not so comfortable to make criticism to people, but if you know how to do it, it can really help. So this is something new for me.
I mean, knowing how to do it, as long as it's made to help somebody, to support them, and it's in a friendly manner, it's helpful. I think you don't.
Exactly.
I mean, yes, I live with a PR expert. So from my wife, I have learned about this sandwich type of criticism, where you start with something good, then you criticize, then you end with something good, which is, let's say, something one can learn. But apart from this, already you learned it. This was it. And the second thing is that as long as you really mean to help somebody, your opinion is valid, and it's better for the other person, for the artist, to have it than not have it, because you don't want to criticize them, because
Exactly.
this helps them
Yeah.
grow.
Yeah, of course. And what I appreciate here in our community, that there's always the positive stuff. Nobody is rude and polite. There's nothing. I don't know if it's you who is making like a cleaning process, or it's just like this.
Cleaning process, I don't have to make much of it. Honestly,
Okay,
it's very,
that's good.
very seldom. Most people are
That's
just
great.
awesome on their own.
That's amazing.
Thank you, Mariana.
And
We'll
I would
continue
like
after.
to add a point, if you don't
Yeah.
mind, Theo, over here. With the group is so, tightly bound to each other. There are still artists whom we follow, whom we give, feedbacks in these stuff. And if they're repeating the same mistakes over and over again, then, as Theo knows, we even have been stern, but, in a good way. And those artists don't even mind, somebody is, giving some harsh feedbacks which they might not like, but still they take it in a positive way. That's the group that it has become these days. It's really nice. They also take it in a positive way, and we also don't feel bad. At the end of the day, after giving the feedbacks, it's we should not have said that, but that's okay. They take it in a sporty way. So that's really nice about this community.
Sometimes being harsh is just what some people need in order to wake up. This is just the way it is. There are people who learn the first time. There are people who you should maybe repeat 1 or 2 times, and they'll also learn. And there are people who make the same mistakes. And at some point, you need to be harsh. Otherwise, it feels like wasting your time. Let's continue with Danushka. Danushka, you're one from the most active members and helpful ones, and you're also a challenge winner. So you're very, very involved with this community. How do you see the Chaos Campus? What is it for you?
First of all, thank you for having me, and I feel amazing. Like, I feel really great about the community, and what I lacked from since I start freelancing, I lacked this community feeling, like an office feeling. We have like senior guys who are commenting on our work, or we are guiding someone else. So all those things are like happening in the same place virtually. It is really great for me. I benefited from seeing how you construct a criticism, like a way that you are constructing someone else's work, and then by learning that, we also do the same thing now in our own communities and in here also. So that really transfers down, and then it helps to grow our younger generation as well. So I feel like it is really nice, and I truly feel at home over here.
One of the best things you could have said. Thank you so much for this. And Rick, it was a deliberate choice to have you be the last one to answer this question, because being the heartbeat of the CG Architect, you already manage your own community. You know a lot about communities. So I'm really, really curious to hear your opinion and the way, how do you see and perceive the Chaos Campus?
First of all, thank you for having me. I was very, very flattered with the invitation. For me, like, Chaos Campus is an example, really, because I've been working with communities for the past 10 years. On October 15th, it will be my 10th Chaos versary, and and I started working with communities back then, and I know how hard it is to have a vibrant, a good community, one that actually works as a community, because there's a bunch of groups on Facebook, a bunch of forums, a bunch of everything out there, and having a community such as Chaos Campus, where people actually interact with each other, and people they spend their time there. This is something else, really. And I would really love to congratulate you for the work you're doing, because I know how hard it is. I know for a fact that it's like probably the hardest job anyone could have, like, when it comes to the whole community thing on the internet, especially as Nikos mentioned. Like, after the pandemics, we're like, okay, everything is online, and managing to keep things, growing as steadily as you have, and getting people engaged the way they are, it's just wonderful, really. And I can't praise you enough for that, really.
Thank you so much. This really, really, really means a lot. Everything you all said was like a honey to my soul, honestly, because as Rick just said, it's a lot of work. It's and a lot of involvement here. You cannot just, you know, even during my vacation, I felt like, oh, there is a work. I need to come and comment something on this because you cannot just leave. It's like a family at some point. I cannot just leave my kids and be like, you know what, deal with it. It's like I have to be here and I have to help. Even though we have people that are very active, that are very helpful, sometimes it feels like what the community needs is me, and I have to be there for it. I'll read the comment by Abdi, and then we can talk about the importance of community. This time as an open discussion, without having me to, point to each one of you. Abdi says, unlike many other groups, this community isn't just a simple image gallery or a place to brag cheaply. Thank you so much to everyone for making this place being the best one to be. I'm truly honored to be part of this amazing community. Cheers, Abdi. Thank you very much. And yeah, it's a collective effort of everyone who's here, including yourself, because Abdi even Abdi comes from 3D and like from motion graphics, and he started, especially inspired by this community, he started this Tyflow for Arvis series on YouTube, and has shared a lot and has helped a lot. And I absolutely love this. And I know how much also happens backstage that you don't see because of the chat or something. But recently, Abdi also helped a group member with his master's thesis. He just needed some help there, and Abdi was there to help. And I know that things like this are happening, like off stage. There are people who started working together, and I absolutely love this. And this is like the fuel that keeps the fire going. If you see things like this happening, I imagine it like if you're a teacher to some small kids and they start thriving, you cannot just leave it and be like, oh yeah, I don't care anymore, just go. And this is amazing. And let's talk about the importance of community and answer this one very direct question. Why is it important to have a strong community? What are the actual perks? Because we always say, it's important to have a strong community. Why? Who wants to start, please?
Can I go?
Please, Nikos.
Well, as I would say, together we're stronger. If I look back in my career, my best friendships happen on events. Pedro Fernandez from Arkinai, Jeff Motul, my best friends of mine. So that's the importance of community. Personally, it helped me to find my best friends. Now, professionally, it helped me to find the best studios to work with. I moved to London 2010 without knowing anybody, but I found the community of 3D London. And that helped me to shape my career. Now I know all the top studios thanks to me visiting monthly and engaging, of course, with the speakers, with the people there. So you need to be active if you want to get the benefits. So that's the importance of community, that it's helping you in both ways, professional and personal, or at least that happens to me. And I think you need to believe so much in it and try to engage as much as you can online and on site. I'm mentioning both because for me, both are important for different ways. We're going to talk about it later. So that's the importance, that you can actually grow. And together, we're stronger. And I'm saying this because I felt it in 2010. It's not a quote I read online. Together, we're stronger. It's my first feeling when I start going monthly on events. It's the first time for me. I was from Greece, moving to London, didn't know anybody. And then I realized, okay, this is important. This is what I need to do to succeed on my career as a person and as a creator.
Totally agree. We don't have a lobby also. So if we don't support each other, then we're low.
We're working on it. We're working on it.
Are we?
Yeah.
Tell us more.
Of course.
I'm kidding. I'm gonna jump in.
Yeah.
And just, I think I'm gonna address it also a bit more from a, I think philosophically speaking, from a human-centered perspective, community is very essential. It's a very abused word as well, unfortunately, because it may look appealing. So it's used for a lot of different groups that might not necessarily be communities. But I think belonging and connection in the world that we live in, and maybe people would have said that also like 100 or 200 years ago, but I think the world in which we live in can be very confusing because we have the illusion of so many sources of information. You know, even in the field that we are in, there's so many resources and groups and events happening, but belonging and connection, sincere belonging and connection is something that you need to build up in time and requires critical thinking. And it also requires self-expression. So if you don't have individuals that are able to think critically, self-express, and contribute, you don't have a community. So I think the art of building communities together is something that we need desperately and will be even more and more needed in time. And I find it beautiful that they exist, and they bring meaning and essence, you know, like no matter what you do. And campus is just a great example in terms of visualization, and you do have also the foundations that people in ArcVis are fantastic individuals. And I don't know where this spark comes from. Is it the fact that it's a blend of technical understanding and curiosity for the technical aspects, and at the same time a curiosity for the creative aspects, you know, of how you build a scene, of how you convey a story? Because those two qualities can also be very different, but merged into one, it's this thirst and curiosity for the world outside. I did tell you, Theo, some weeks ago, you know, you need to want to understand how the world looks like, and you need to be observing also the world outside, and even like how your eye works out, or how a camera works, like to be interested in this truly. So this is my general take on the importance of community, and especially this community.
Fully agree. Here there is a comment by Isaac saying, I like what Nikos said, power in numbers, groups guide and encourage you where you lack. And yeah, pretty much what you said also, Kali. Who wants to continue? Somebody else on the importance of having a strong community?
Can I
Quick,
say a word?
please.
What you guys were, I agree with everything you guys said, and I would like to share a little story here with you guys, because I only have a career nowadays because of the community, to be honest, and not because I work with community, not because I work at Chaos, but because like back in 2000, I started in 1996 working on 3D. It was 2D back then, right? We didn't have the third D yet. And I started using V-Ray in 2001 when it was an alpha something. It was a small zip file. Well, of course, you remember that. It was like a small zip file that you had some DLLs that you have to copy and stuff. And, you know, like I started meeting people, and Jeff Motto that Nikos mentioned created CG Architect back then. He started the forums. Before that, we only had like Yahoo groups with emails and stuff like that. I'm going like way back right now. I'm traveling back in time. And, you know, like I started meeting people virtually. And again, a lot of great friends. I have friends that I've met 20-something years ago on the forums. I actually had lunch with one of them a couple weeks ago, Victor Erthal. And, you know, like, and now if I have a career, it's because of the community, because I was part of a community and people got to know me. I wasn't like a stranger. So whenever I reached out for a job or whatever, people would know who I was because of the community, because of my presence in that community. I only got a job at Chaos because Petko saw, you guys remember Petko, he saw my work with V-Ray Masters back then, and he was like, okay, you're running a community, why don't you join us? So it's like the community makes things happen, and it's a very lonely place for an artist to stay at home, especially nowadays with the home office stuff just like this. Like it's cool, a nice background, nice lighting and everything, but you in the end you're alone with your work, and you need people around you in a way to tell you that you suck or tell you that you're great. But you need people, and you don't get me started that. But when I ask my wife about something I'm doing, she's always like, "Oh, it's very nice." Well, she has very low standards. She married me, so I don't think she's someone I can count on for feedback. But the community is for that, and I see that communities that thrive are based on mutual feedback, not because, for example, Theo is giving feedback or because I'm giving feedback, but because people start seeing that giving and receiving feedback is a nice thing and is a way for them to grow. And we're starting a Discord on CG Architect, and I can see I was in the beginning I was like the only one, commenting images and stuff, and now people are interacting. And after like 6 months, we have people interacting and asking for jobs and placing their CVs there. And it starts to grow spontaneously because we are fomenting it, we are fostering it. And that's why I think communities are so, so important. We wouldn't be here if we were not a community. And we won't be here if we don't have a community.
Nothing to add here, honestly. Anybody else?
Yeah, I would like to
Please.
take it from there. What Ricardo said is absolutely true. And for me, it's like when I started freelancing, I was doing my stuff, but it is like my stuff only. So I don't have a benchmark to gauge where I'm at. So when it comes to communities, it helps you to understand where you are at, whether you need to improve or you need to give back. So with that, I think it is very important to have be in a community and being in an active community like ours. So it is really amazing.
Absolutely. Do you think we have a strong community?
Definitely, very strong community.
Not only we're on campus, generally our field, would you say it has a strong community, or are we eventually a bit too fragmented in some nice communities here and there, but too scattered all over the world so that we don't have this one massive, representation out there?
I think due to the people that who are founders and working, they are in mostly in Europe and USA, so it is centered to those areas. But in South Asia and Asian countries also, there are communities we have our own, but I don't think they are much more connected to each other, sharing and having events in Asian countries or Singapore, China, or India or something like that, and then going back to London, Paris, Germany, something like that. So I don't see that much, but it is there.
So Kali, we need more events in Eastern Asia.
Yeah, I agree with Dhanushka on this.
I mean, there are vast people, so many people who are flying under the radar, and even in here, I'm a part of a group. We are having 300 artists, a small WhatsApp group. So we have communities small communities.
Before the COVID, the Autodesk live events used to take place. Where I stay in Mumbai, India, there used to be around one or two events every year. So I definitely used to go there. I used to visit there. Used to hang around with the Autodesk guys. They used to give presentations and all. And that's how the community started building. Around 8 to 9 years, even I used to know lots of people from Autodesk. And so the chaos guys, anyway where we see the event, either it's in Berlin, it's in London, it's in UK, those parts of the country it's happening. And we are just striving that when the chaos guys will come to Asian parts, have some events where we can definitely go and meet up and have that community building as well. So as Dhanushka said, it is centered somewhere in Europe, US, UK. So we need those guys to come here.
Seems like you should be the one starting those events, Chaos even supports
Yeah,
it.
I was just thinking, Theo, you're going to say that.
Yeah, I'm going to say it because somebody starts those events. I don't think that there is a person who's like this event maker who was here in Europe as well. I think, Nikos, could you maybe say a bit about it, because you started, let's say, or you're doing 3D Athens or something. So could you?
Yes, actually, that's great. So when I moved from London to New York, the first thing I did was to start looking for another community, because I knew that part of my success in London was through the London community. And it was funny because I started talking to Nigel, saying, Nigel, I want to start with New York. And Nigel said, oh, there's a guy, James Falconer from The Boundary. back then, that he's actually interested to do the same thing. So why you don't collaborate? So we meet, had the nice drinks in a bar, and we said, let's do this, okay? Let's do it. And I remember before I even find my apartment, so I was doing Airbnb, I was spending more time building that community and looking for space for the community and setting up the program, which means how much it means to me. And I know because it's a true story. So I cared less about my apartment and more about finding the place for the community. And trust me, it helped me. I met so many interesting people there. And when I moved back to Greece a year later, I did exactly the same thing. I was like, Nikos, what's going to happen now? Who are you going to meet every month? And then I started building the 3D Athens community. So Amit, yes, we're here to help and support. Sometimes if you cannot find what you want next to you, maybe you are the one driving and creating it. And you have the right persons at the moment listening, and it will be helping you and supporting you on the way. It will be means the world to me, Kalina, everyone give you advice and help and support, of course, because that's how we do it. If you cannot find what you want, you create it, the opportunity.
Absolutely, because like community is just like a family. Like when you get married, like there are lots of people that join with you. So like if there is some problem in life, they are there to help you out, to guide you. So in professional life, it's the same thing with the communities. When you're stuck somewhere, the artists that are there in the community, they help you, like they give you a push so that you go ahead with your professional life as well. So that's why it's like very important for the community and our chaos community that is there, the campus crew. It's so tight, and like as we were just saying, that things are fragmented. So if there is a way where these sort of communities come together, I think like then nobody can stop anything, like or any artist from growing from this level to that level.
There's nothing
Awesome.
better than. Do you remember Emma on the first
Yeah.
time when we started building the Chaos Campus community? Emma, which we all love, was in charge. She did a fantastic job. I just love what she did. So when this happened, I texted her, I said, Emma, are we going to meet every month or what? She's like, I haven't talked about it. I don't know. We don't have any events planning. Can I just start Chaos Campus live show? That's exactly how it happened. I just text her. She's listening. She talked to Chaos. We managed to do it. And now for 3 years in a row, we have an event happening every month. And now we have Keeping It Realistic and more. And Ricardo is doing podcasts. Somebody needs to do something in order to create something, So drive.
Right.
We're here to help.
As well, to mention that it was similar with 24 hours of chaos. It was something that Nigel mentioned as well, and then we took it on. And it was Teddy M back then with Teddy S. They brought this event to life, which seemed like an impossible one. I mean, Rick was involved in it as well, Nikos, you were involved. So it was a great happening, I think, to connect people online during COVID. A lot of people did not sleep during the 24 hours of chaos. But talking about something global to connect everything, we actually are, Rick and I are actually working on something in that direction. But it's as I told Rick, it's cooking, but it's not boiling yet. So whenever it starts boiling, you hear it boiling at some point.
Really looking forward to this. And honestly, I absolutely agree with what you said, Nikos and Kali, about it. Just go do it. This is how Keeping It Realistic started. By this point, I had no reference point. I was just, okay, I don't want to write only. I want to reach out to some of you on a more personal level, more direct level. So I pitched this to Chaos, not knowing what to expect. They could have just laughed at me and said, dude, are you for real? Who would want to watch this or see this? But now we celebrate 2 years of Keeping It Realistic, so we just have to try it out. It may not work out. It is always a possibility, but if you don't try it out, it definitely won't work out. So you already have these very tight local communities. Try building something out of it, and maybe you can really get help from Chaos. This would be awesome. And Mariana and Vladov, you're so silent when it comes to strong communities. What's your opinion?
Well, I would say stronger community, more knowledge. So more we are, more we know. So for me, it's this one.
To the point.
Yeah.
And what are you?
For me, so the only community that I kind of had started as the Chaos Forum, and that was way back when, as Ricardo said, when we had the Delphi forums, and then we had our own forum. So it's really important. First, because people can help each other, yes, but they also exchange different ways to do things. Somebody learns something new and shares it with the rest. For me, it's also a very good way to find out what new things are going on. I mean, not everybody has time to look at like all the news, especially lately. All kinds of things are coming up every week. So having like this group of people that everybody's trying different things and that they can share experiences, like this worked or this didn't work, or if somebody had a problem and a person can jump in and say, yeah, I had the same problem and that's how I solved it. I think for me that's one of the main benefits of having a strong community. And then the other thing is that you kind of realize that you're not really alone. There are other people dealing with the same problems, and I think that's kind of a comforting thought. So it's not like you against the world. It's like a whole group of people that are trying to figure out the same thing.
Totally agree. I think, isn't it actually the success formula behind Amazon? Like, it's not that the things there were the cheapest or stuff like this. It's just like that there were those user reviews, people actually sharing their experience with a certain project and saying how the project actually is. Because obviously, every producer of a project says that this is the best thing out there in the universe. But then there are people who actually buy it, try it out, and say, you know what, it doesn't work that well, or it does. It does exactly what it promises. And this is why people decided to go to Amazon so much, for example, because of those reviews. And as you say, when people share, okay, there is this new update or this new thing and it works, then they know what to look forward to or what they can use it for. And something, because you talked about sharing knowledge, there is a very interesting comment by Abdi who says, some are following the illusion that sharing their knowledge with others will take away from their own value. I just think if it's true, then we shouldn't have any teachers. This is why I've been experimenting more than once, but this mindset is just insane, in my opinion. And I agree. If we shared, the more we share, the more each and every one of us advances and grows. So sharing is a great thing, and this is what a great community does, I would say, right? But Kali, you mentioned 24 Hours of Chaos, which I personally loved. I still have my award here displayed. Would you say that people have a bit of an online event fatigue? Like they prefer online stuff, like on-site stuff, especially after the pandemic, which kind of pushed many people to go for online stuff. Is there something like this, that people prefer personal contact, or is there this fatigue that
I think you need both in the world that we live in. It's more about the quality and what exactly is shared and the interaction between the people there, because obviously we spend a lot of time online and there's no way to, I mean, I have a fatigue from spending time in front of the screen for sure. And sometimes I get a bit confused when I am clashed with an actual three-dimensional world at the end of a workday. But at the end of the day, we live in the digital world as well, and I think we need communities like that online, and we need them offline as well. I do think that there were formats that peaked during COVID, that then, such as webinars, etc., that afterwards perhaps dropped in terms of viewings and returned to more normalized numbers, because also we returned to, let's say, more normalized lives, challenged by other things, of course, nowadays. I am a huge fan of live events, so I am very biased about live events. I do enjoy a lot contact with human beings around. I find it as something that is very charging, specifically the events that we have in our community, like the 3D meetups, smaller scale events. I'm not such a big fan of, and it's again my personal taste. I'm not such a big fan of big events or conferences. I like the small community style, the more informal conversations that you can have there, how easily you can connect to others and how approachable they are. And I also think that it's nice to work on a small scale. It's nice to think about the immediate impact that you can have, not to always, like to be realistic about the impact that you can have and what you can build. And that can be a lot in itself, like like 3D London, Nikos, then 3D New York, then you did 3D Athens. Now we have Antonio and Santo from Milano reaching out and doing 3D Milano, which is great as well. So this series is continuing in time. So yeah, huge fan of live events as well, but I think both are complementary.
Without online events, we couldn't have something like this, because getting all of us 8 people together in one and the same place would just be extremely costly and difficult time-wise. So I absolutely agree, but just wanted to hear if people are just getting tired of those. I think this is why the 24 hours of chaos kind of stopped, which to me, once again, is a huge pity. I loved it. Okay, shall we move to the next topic eventually, to the future of visualization? And here I want to start with Vladov and ask you, Vladov, do you see a bright or a dark future for the visualization field? And remember, we're here in keeping it realistic and we're keeping it real. So say it as it is. Like, how do you envision it also? Like, let's say a young artist is in front of you and wants to hear what you think about being a 3D artist in 10 years from now, for example. How do you see it?
That's a good question, right? I think there will always be a need for visualization whenever you want to, and I think particularly with architectural visualization, because what you want to get in the end is something in the physical world. So your goal is not just to make a nice image, but that image hopefully and eventually will be something that exists in the real world, whether it's a new building project that's being done, or a remodeling of a house eventually, or an interior render. Eventually, this will be something that exists in the real world. So as long as people want to do that sort of thing, like get a new house, remodel their apartment or whatever, there will be a need for visualization. Whenever there's an idea that they want to see, there will be a need for visualization, not just in terms of having a nice image out of it, but also as a way to communicate to other people. It's much easier to show something than try to describe it with words, right? So the need will be there. The tools are always evolving. I think especially lately, it's very easy to get an image out of basically anything, whether it's a text prompt, whether it's a sketch, whether it's a viewport grab. AI models are getting better and better, especially with Nano Banana. It's pretty impressive what you can do. So the tools to produce an image change. At the same time, so long as we're trying to do something physical, the need for the 3D data will be there. Images and even videos are nice, but eventually you want something that you can build. So it has to somehow be converted to a 3D model. So people who understand both 3D, but also understand visualization will still be very valuable, but the tools that they will use will be probably changing. I mean, even today, like if you wanted to add a person to your render, that was always a problem for our users, because getting realistic people is very complicated. But today you have things like enhancers, or even just adding them with a text prompt on top of the image. It makes the whole thing easier. And this also opens up visualization to a lot of other people who wouldn't normally have the time to learn the tools to do it. I myself am not, I cannot model, which is weird to say for a person who did the render, but I'm not really a good modeler. So for me, something that creates a model for me would be very valuable. so that then I can play with the render and with the lights and the materials and so on. So the tools will change and will make visualization accessible to more and more people. And I think that that's quite exciting.
Thank you very much. So you still think that in future 3D artists, because obviously many 3D artists fear this in one way or another, that with AI coming, they will lose their value because, as you say, when one AI tool makes the model for you and the other one visualizes it, then some people think that they maybe will lose their value as artists, because what was differentiating them from the rest right now is that they can model, that they can texture, that they can do all of this. And if AI does starts doing it, then of course it's the question if those 3D artists will still be needed that much if, let's say, an architect can do it on their own. Once again, we're just talking here. I know that most of us see AI tools, or probably all of us see AI tools as tools and nothing more, not like this thing which will come to take our jobs. But obviously some people are fearing this, so I think it makes sense to address it in a show like this.
Absolutely, it's a valid question. In a world where you don't need a renderer to create a photorealistic image, then obviously what does that mean for the tools that we use? It's a valid question. So we'll see how it goes. I think like 3D specifically has its very important place when creating images. So I think it will be around for a while longer, but the tools that you use for that will change. I'm hoping that at some point the way we do 3D today with like using the mouse and clicking in a viewport to do stuff, that's probably going to change pretty much in the way that generating images today is not about like drawing with a paintbrush anymore.
So more like VR modeling, or how do you envision it?
For me, it will be like maybe you can. Would be like you can either draw a sketch and then this sketch would magically turn into a 3D model that you can then refine, or you would be able to basically tell the application what you want to build and it will do it for you. Basically things like that. Like instead of like clicking and selecting objects and moving them around, it will be a lot more like relying on natural language.
I see. Thank you very much. Who wants to continue?
I am not a 3D artist, so let's as a baseline. So I should start. I know I should get my Corona crash course soon. From anyone that wants to provide a crash course on Corona, I'm available. But there are a couple of things that what Vlado said, and also the question made me think. First of all, I imagine the nightmare of having clients send to you the visualization that they want because they have the tools to tell you, like, I can do it better, or this is what I intended. And how this communication might find its new challenges in the future because of AI. I'm not sure we're there yet, but it's just like empowering more people also means it's more people who believe that they're experts in something. And that's leads me to my general take on AI, because it's the discussion is mostly based on what is artificial intelligence, and it can mean a lot of different things. But it also makes me think what is actually human intelligence. And I think that's the thing that we sort of can, it's the thing that we can sort of focus on. What makes your work authentic? What is authorship? How do you protect that authorship, which of course requires from you to be informed on technological advancement as well. But I do think that the sense of ownership and creation and how you interpret that and how you make sure that you integrate in your work process is something that is an important consideration, because you're not only the images that you create. So, I mean, I will take Nikos as one example. He's consulting clients, he's creating images himself, he's creating meetups. So he finds so many, and educational resource, he finds so many different touch points with the end user and with potential clients and partners that go way beyond, I give you a project and then you create the image for me. So he becomes sort of like he creates this also thought leadership behind his, and I think this is very important to have this strategy behind your work and to have a clear idea about the identity that you bring with it as an artist.
Yeah, totally agree. I'm also very excited about the future, where it's going. I think it's not just about technology. Communities will help and support and will drive where we're going, and that's why we're doing here is very important. Yes, the fear is real, but for me, what is more real is the opportunity. I'm just excited about I know the tools will change. Yes, Vlad is right. Your job description might change, but the thing is, as a creator with unique point of view, with skill and vision, that cannot be replicated. We're still in charge. So if it was me, I'm talking to professionals listening, go back and believe in yourself and focus on you. Do you have your own perspective on where you make things? Go back to your portfolio. Is it feels unique? Is it you? If not, make it. There's no time for excuses. There is a challenge. These tools are available to everyone, and they're tools. So now it's the time to embrace these technologies, master these tools, and become stronger as an artist, because now there's no time limitations. And, I also don't like modeling. I can now create stuff. I know how to add people on a scene, but it's painful. It takes maybe a day. I hate that. Now you can write a prompt or you can enhance. So this kind of tools, what happens, it's helping my vision and my idea to become faster and better in image. So I care about the speed and efficiency. But if you don't have a vision, if you don't know where you're going, then yes, there is a threat. But see it as an opportunity to believe in yourself, build your skills, embrace these tools, and you have nothing to worry about. At least for now. Let's not talk about 10 years later, but for now, we're safe. We're still in charge.
I mean, there's no use of being stuck in fear anyways. It's not going to help you, so you better not do it.
There is so many opportunities.
And I see it also because I'm a filmmaker. I see it in filmmaking a lot, because the big technological jump was from film cameras, which was very expensive to shoot the film and very expensive to afterwards develop the film, and very expensive to actually preserve the film. You used to have like 2 different film rolls, and then you split them between 2 people. They would fly separately, etc. So now we have this more democratic process of creating films and easy access to films. Are we sure that this has increased the actual quality of the films that we see?
Just to make another example, Roger Dickens, right? My favorite cinematographer in the world. He's now 72, maybe 73. Do you know why he's still active? Thanks to technology. Because at his age, the cameras, they're lighter, and he can still do his passion. And that's inspiring. So thanks to technology, he's still creating.
But that
he was
also
a master
means,
anyway, regardless that he's a master anyway, but thanks to technology, he can still be active because it's lighter for his body to carry the camera, because that's his passion. He wants to always have the camera and be in charge of the frame and the story. It's amazing.
But that also means he knows the purpose of his craft.
Yes.
And I think that's something that a lot of people don't actually have clear. Like when people are concerned that the clients will come up with a ChatGPT prompt or whatever and have a visualization there, it's because you don't actually understand your job. Like you don't know what you do. You're not there to create an image. You're there to communicate the design, to charm your client, to captivate them. There's a bunch of stuff that you need to do with that image. It just happens to be an image, really. But there's a lot of stuff that you need to do with that. So if you understand that, you probably stop fearing technology altogether, because we're now talking about AI, but 20 years ago we were talking about ray tracing and global illumination. I remember when I started, we would have to place like 1,000 Omni lights around a house so it could get something that resembled natural lighting. It was just insane. And then, we had Lightscape and radiosity took like forever. And and when V-Ray came, and I don't mean that as a kind of an advertisement or anything, but when V-Ray came and it was really fast, people were like, okay, it's over. There's no room for us because anyone can just put a lamp there and it's a beautiful image. And we know for a fact that did not happen. Really, we're still here.
Yeah.
Right. So one thing that I would like to add is that we have this thing that humankind has this thing that we want always to predict the future because we are always afraid of the future. And that leads me to that old cartoon, The Jetsons. You all remember that cartoon, right? Did you know that The Jetsons happen in 2023 or something like that? And we are nowhere near having like flying cars and living on stars and stuff. And I said this on my talk back last year on the WVF that we are still hoping that our cell phones or whatever are turned into Rosie, which was the robot maid of the Jetsons, because she was alive. And they were like, okay, can you prepare some turkey? And she would go there and prepare some turkey and it would be delicious. And we are looking for that, but we won't find that really. I don't think we're anywhere near that. And people think that AI or technology is just like that. Okay, I'm going to ask my computer to draw me an image and it will be awesome and it will be fast and it will be perfect and I won't be like, I don't have to hire anyone to do that because a computer can do that. And we're nowhere near that. If we were, like, we wouldn't have like 500,000 scientists work at NASA right now. They would have like a huge computer and would ask them, okay, can you like design a ship to go to the moon? Okay, sure. Here it is with a prompt from ChatGPT. So we have to, slow down our horses a bit, I think. And like, okay, we're not going to die. The Terminator is not coming. Let's take a deep breath and embrace technology so we can benefit from it, not just be scared.
Sure. We don't even have hoverboards yet, so what future are we
what a
talking about?
shame.
Yeah.
Humans are
Really
more
looking forward to that as a former skater. Yeah, I think I absolutely agree. The only thing that are endangered by AI directly, I would say, from my personal point of view and experience, are those who offer nothing more than an image, like a 3D scene with textures on it. Because if that's everything you share, you can offer to your clients, it's not enough. You need to be able to tell a story, to know about composition, lighting, and all of those basics. And as Rick said, you need to be able to sell an idea and present ideas or a project or whatever to others. So if everything you do is just build something in 3D and then put textures on it and then just make snapshots in 3D, then you're endangered because you don't really offer something of huge or irreplaceable value. But the moment you know more, you can come up with your own ideas, make something custom tailored for your client. You won't be replaced. And there are AI solutions, and I have clients who even try to use it here and there, but they use it for references. And when I tell them about AI, and when we talk about this, they're like, yeah, but we still want to work with you because you have this approach to our projects, trying to make them put them in the best possible light. And this is why we prefer to spend way more money on you than do it on our own and end up with something generic, because there is a sea or an ocean of generic images out there. So I think as long as we offer something which is unique, which really shows a certain amount of expertise, then we're not in danger. Of course, seen in a long distance, if at some point there is this AI where you can just put your elevations in and then press a button with a prompt and it gives you a very consistent, awesome, photographically valuable session of images, then I still think that the artist will be needed. do the prompting and to do all the work around the AI software. The question is, of course, if a 3D artist will enjoy this type of work or workflow, because right now, some people enjoy modeling, others texturing or lighting, like Nikos, for example. And if at some point all of this happens with a prompt, even if it's us that have changed our workflows from 3D tools and render engines to AI, it still doesn't answer the question if we will be enjoying this new type of work. But I think only future can tell about this one.
And I also think, can I jump in?
Of course, please.
I also think it's the chicken and egg situation, because we co-create the future together. So it's not like there's something, as Rick said, it's like the grand master that is conspiring against humanity and is driving us towards somewhere. It's also about how we use the tools that we are offered, what feedback we provide. And it's about responsible use of those tools. I mean, if you expect that magic is going to happen, because I think they are the sense of ease in life and ease when you work on something and requiring that from technology. I think it's also there needs to be a responsibility on behalf of the user of the tools. We're all users of that tools. I also mean like ChatGPT and OpenAI, like these tools, because the way that you treat it while using it, and what do you use it for, what do you expect from the product, and also the way you present your work. So how much you put authenticity into your work and what you actually develop at the end, how much it's you and how much it's AI, is also a question of our own responsible use. And I think this is where we're sort of not as prepared, because I think that this is where I feel we're lacking. And we need to be more prepared, like on work on an individual and also community level, but to have a more responsible attitude and use of those tools as well, because that's how we can contribute effectively to the future development.
Fully agree. Amit, Dhanushka, Mariana, you being 3D artists and users, how do you see the future of the visualization field? Like, you're in it.
From my point of view, it's more like a process for us using it really, like a creative tool to test a lot of things and to see the project development. So I'm not afraid at all, because I think that it will be always necessary to introduce the human point of view and to work with it. So I'm really, it's like when every time history is changing, there's a lot of people afraid of this, like when the train comes, when the camera comes, and so on. So it's just we have to develop ourselves, and that's it. Just change that is afraiding a lot, but I am not afraid at all. It will just change a little bit, and that's it.
It's easy for you to say that as a pro dancer, because you can always have a career as a dancer, and which AI cannot take your job. But yeah, fully agree with you. Amit, Dhanushka, how about
For
you?
me also, AI is just another tool, as long as you look at it as a tool that is there to help you in your workflows. But there are still certain artists who feel that their jobs are going to be taken away from AI, but it's not that. As Nikos also said, it's just a tool that's going to smooth your workflow. It's going to help you out. It's going to help you in more creative things rather than sitting and doing that hard work. It's going to help you out in your day-to-day life visualization that is there. And even if some client comes up with an image saying, okay, this is the image or this is the thing that I want in visualization, as you always tell, we need to educate the client that something which we can do, that is something which AI cannot do. AI cannot just go and put bricks and cement and build a house. That is what we have to do as humans. It's the same thing. If you see AI as a tool that will help in a workflow. Like, there's nothing to worry about, but it will be more helpful. It will help you in your more creative journeys. It will, like, help you develop in the work that you do every day. So I don't think, like, there has to be, like, nobody has to be worried about what is there to, like, till today.
Yeah, definitely. Because then what I experience is like the precision that we can go. Like when a client sends something specific, like I need this texture or something like that, and he sees it in our render, he's like amazed by it. Like, wow, you put it there, and how did you do it? Like they were asking questions from us, like how did you create it? Like I couldn't find it, and I just sent it to you, and it looks really nice. So he get that feeling, like how Ricardo said that how we are selling the image to him, like with what he has sent us. So it's just a tool that makes our workflow very easy at the moment for me.
And, like,
Seems like
I would like
everyone.
to add, I would like to add a point over here also. Like, in my visualization, like whatever the props, the decor items, or the textures that I use, I make sure that if the client is liking that image because of certain elements or certain texture, it is easily available in the market. And, like, I do not want to use something that is generated by AI, and then the client is, like, searching the entire market to find a thing where he cannot find it. Then he comes back to me saying, you have used this, now you are responsible because I have liked it, so now you go and find it. So I never do that. And, like, the models, or, like, even the luminaires that I use, like, there is a shop just next to my apartment where I literally see whatever is there in here, Cosmos Library, there are so many luminaires that are available with that guy. So I come to know, okay, this is actually that these are not some random models, but it is something that is available in the market, and I can definitely use them. So I, like, do not want to misuse AI with certain things which the client might, like, finally come back at me rushing, saying that, okay, this is not what I was expected, and you have given me that.
That is the responsibility Kali was talking about. Fully agree with you. And do we have any wishes? Because I remember a tweet by a girl who was something along the lines of like, I hoped for AI to come so that it, does my chores so that I have more time to do art. And now AI is there to do art, and so that I have more time for my chores. So what do you wish for AI to be able to take away from your workflow, like unwrapping,
Unwrapping,
uh,
definitely unwrapping.
rigging, something like
Unwrapping,
this,
yes.
but maybe something else,
Nobody
creating
likes
environment. Okay, something
You know
else.
what? You know what? I would be happy if Vlado mentioned that maybe in the future we won't use mouse and keyboard to model. I would be really happy if we were able to, put on like a meta quest or something and direct the AI to create whatever scene we want. Like, okay, draw a wall here, draw a door. No, I don't like that door. Just like I think it was Iron Man 2 or 3. I don't know, the one that Tony
Oh, he
Stark
like
needs to
putting.
create this
Yeah.
new element or whatever. Like he's just telling the computer what to do, and the computer will be doing all the calculations and stuff. And I find that to be the most realistic use of AI, honestly, because like it's not what AI can do; it's like what I want it to do. So when we get to a point where we can, okay, I'm building this house. I don't like the way the sun is shining here. Let's put the sun right here, and to make it more interactive, I will probably be happy. And also, it will be easier to figure out what we do because I'm pretty sure that our clients won't be able to create whatever image they want in a platform just as easy like that because they don't know what they want. They don't know how to express that. They don't have the experience to, okay, I want this to happen. I want the sun to come from that direction, so it will cast a shadow over this element, and like that's what we do. So I would be very happy if I never had to sit down like this again and create my art using AI and virtual reality or nano implants or whatever.
So you can just work
And
lying on the beach.
and understand the proportion of it, like how the proportion fits with your scene, and it really confuses the clients, like when we do stuff.
Absolutely. So we want unwrapping, and we want also AI to just understand voice commands and start implementing modeling, texturing, and all of that. Okay.
It's like Iron Man saying, Jarvis, I need this. And Jarvis makes the things
This would be awesome.
virtually.
Maybe someday it will happen. Do you think it will?
Might be. I don't remember, but either I have seen one trailer on YouTube or some workflow on YouTube. But there is this person who's standing. He has worn the VR glasses, and he's like, in the VR glasses, he's like, like making the buildings, the bricks, and everything, like, with the help of AI. I don't remember whether it was a movie trailer or it was like, some workflow that was shown. But I'd seen it just few days back. He had the VR glasses and he was like, building. They were showing it through. So that might be a possibility of like, future AI.
What are you doing for work? I'm a virtual construction worker laying bricks.
Yeah.
So, okay. Yeah. I mean, for sure, there will be less work-related incidents this way. But probably we'll start getting very, used to doing this. But as I see, you all see it as a very positive development, and you don't see fear. No need to fear this, but just to embrace it and try to use it as much as it gets. Right? Can we conclude this? Okay, let's then go back to the campus, because we were a bit more generalistic right now. And I want to ask each one of you, what would you wish for the future of the Chaos Campus? Like more shows, other initiatives, maybe emphasis on certain topics or stuff like this. Our chats will soon be gone, by the way, because Meta decided that group chats are a bad thing for whatever reason. So we won't be having them. So most likely we'll soon be having a Discord channel. We've got to see if it's a part of the CG Architect or whatever, but we'll soon have a solution for this as well, because probably in the next days the chats will be gone, and they were very, very used. People really like those. So
especially like the private talks, like, people
yeah,
are just, they are open to everything. Like, even the personal moments they used to share in the chats. It was really great to have that.
it's normal for such a tight-knit community like ours for people to get close to each other and want to share more than just 3D related stuff, but also like a vacational photo or something like this. So I hope we can have. I'm not into Discord. I'll have to learn it first. If somebody knows a lot, you can gladly reach out to me and teach me a bit.
ChatGPT knows a lot. It can help you.
Yeah, I'm fed up with talking with ChatGPT. Honestly, I want to talk.
You cannot escape it this time.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but what do you wish for the community to change, or maybe to improve, or to be added to, like additional shows, other topics?
There's many ideas we can talk about, but I would like to see more of our members to sign like a TED Talk, but mini series of our members presenting their work, not just us always hosting and doing stuff. I would like to see more members involved. Like, Amit, I know you're so involved, but man, I haven't seen your work. I would love to see you presenting and show me your stuff, because you're a great master. You're talking and helping others. Why not you being on stage once and me following and learning from you? So I would like our Chaos Campus community to grow in a way that even our members have the opportunity to sign and engage and talk and share. One way, many, but one of them.
Say more, please.
Mini workshops, what is it that, like, let's say there is a subject that you all struggle with. Okay, let's do a mini workshop about it. It doesn't have to be 3 hours long. Sometimes to get inspired, that's why the TEDx is like 70-80 minutes. There is a reason for that. It's enough to tell a story. So for me, when I say spotlight series just for members, I don't want to give them 2 hours on stage. I want them to inspire me in 17 minutes, because then they're learning how to tell a story in a short time. So let's do a mini workshop about a specific topic that we all struggle with, whatever that is. Fast, interactive, quick, this kind of stuff that I'm excited about, because we're growing and we need all of us to have the opportunity to share.
Yeah.
And learn from one another.
Absolutely the same, not as finalized and structured in terms of the actual recommendation, but my general thought was, first of all, to keep on things with the same speed and ethos and and growth that we're already seeing, and engagement we're seeing. But I think definitely for people to feel in the community, for more people in the community to feel like they're part of it and not to be shy or afraid to be active in it, because I think it's very clear that it's very welcoming. And even like today in the show, you see you have like this mix of people that contribute in very, very different ways, but everyone is equal, everyone is respected equally, everyone builds this, like we're the foundational building blocks. I don't think there's one that is I mean, obviously till you combine at all and they call you the father of the group. You have a big family, Tio, which is great.
Love it.
10,000 people is a very, soon to be 10,000, I think is a very, very big family. So
I love
uh,
being a dad.
yeah. But I think people should feel empowered to suggest things and to be engaged and to present their work and to so it's an invitation for everyone. For the next chapter, think about how you can co-create in this space and be very open as to sharing what you want to see and what you want to present. Not only see, but how you want to present to the community.
This is why we started also having group members with me in keeping it realistic, so that they learn that they can do it, that they can provide reviews, that they learn being in front of people, because you cannot imagine how many artists are actually held back by shyness or social anxiety. And this is why I get them to me in the show, which is like a safe and friendly environment, and they get to unfold for the first time for many. And this is important, but I absolutely support the idea for people having their own lives or small TED Talks. This would be actually awesome. Would love it. Rick,
Yeah, and I fully agree on the timing. This is one of the things that I keep repeating when we do events. TED Talk style, 17 minutes. People just they zoom out because you're not the only one that is speaking. People zoom out at some point.
Exactly.
19 minutes. Sorry. for the beam.
There's a limit.
I would love to see a meetup for Chaos Campus, really, because we could have that like in many places.
You're breaking our hearts here, Rick. This is something we all want.
Yeah. Well, there is some ideas on the table, so wait for them. It's
Yeah.
still too early to talk about it.
They're
But there is,
cooking,
How to
not
discuss them
boiling. All
in
right.
October.
we know the importance of us meeting online and on site, because on site you have personal connections, you get the energy. So yeah, there is some ideas, but it's still too early. As long as we all care about it so much, I'm sure great things will happen.
If I can jump in,
Yes, please,
I
Mariana.
really appreciate something like a side channel or a separate channel, like really connected to the community, where there are like topics, like open source learning channel, where everyone can contribute with small videos or small tutorials or small things. When I can, if I have a problem, so I can just jump in and search inside to see if there was someone who already had this problem and solved it. So this would be really, really useful, because we have a lot of, there are a lot of manuals, there are a lot of tutorials and so on in our page. But if I want to search for it, it's like a really long process. So if it could be like condensed separate channel, when we can just search for problems and solutions.
Maybe this could be our Discord channel. Once again, I'm not very much into Discord, but as far as I can tell, you could even have a virtual room, like workroom there. So I think this is where some things like this can be done. So I'll get into it once I'm back from Berlin. I promise I'll, get into Discord and make it possible.
This was one of the questions that, I had in my list, which Mariana said, I had written down, encouraging seasoned artists to provide tips and tricks and workflows for the newbies, to gain knowledge. So this can be one part. And me and Dhanushka were even, discussing that in spite of having more than 8K members, to have more people participate in, or be more active the monthly prize that is there from 1 to 5, like top 5, we should increase that from till top 10, so that people get more motivation to be in the group, to be more active, because as we have seen from past 1 year or so, there are only known faces that are more active. Some people might be just coming in, seeing, just moving out, but they're not active. So might be it will give them some motivation to be more active in giving feedbacks, comments, or helping the other artists. What do you say, Tio? Can we do that from first 5 to first 10, at least 10 people?
I mean, I'm not the one who has to give prizes. It's chaos.
Oh, okay.
I can give prizes to 100 people if you ask me. But I mean, at some point, it has to be, how should I put it, commercially okay.
Yeah.
But we can definitely include more people. You see, in recent times, I actually started not only including the first 5, but also that's having some honorable mentions of people
Yes.
who are also very involved, just didn't make it among the first 5. But yeah, I mean, activity should be rewarded, and we should. I hope that over time it develops that people don't need a reward in order to be active, but
Yeah.
the reward for them is just helping others and seeing
Yeah.
somebody thrive because of this. Because if we start only giving prizes to people to be active, they will do it for the prizes and not for being supportive, which is the actual goal here. But yeah, we'll think about it. In October, we'll discuss a lot, I assume, in Sofia. So, yeah. Dhanushka, Vladov?
Yeah.
Or I don't want you finished, Amit.
No, I'm still there. I'm sorry. I have a list, so in case if you.
Okay, it's good.
I'm
Coming
really
prepared.
sorry. Yeah, I've come prepared. So, and there are more people who are shy, to come up front. Might be for sharing their work, or commenting or helping. So it might be because they are shy, or it might be some other reasons that they'll come into focus or whatever. So that because of that also there are very few people who are being more active in the group. So anything can be done in that direction as well, because there are many people, as me and Dhanushka were discussing. Kalina is a person who doesn't like to be in front. He will do lots of good work facing the camera or being as a front face. He's shy, so he cannot do that. So anything that can be done in that direction to bring, or bring the artist up front.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean the prices are kind of the bait,
Yeah.
but when you get used to the feedback giving and the way that the artist or someone is improving and seeing that is the ultimate prize. That you're seeing that he's growing and he's doing something with our feedback. So that is like really fulfilling. So when you have that kind of a small bait, just to get the people coming to
Just to
there,
pull
and
the
then
artist
when they
in.
get used to it, it will happen. Like more and more people, now I see like big names like exactly. Last time we have like who's that, a girl?
Gedia is also there. Then Isaac is there. Lots of people are there.
Yeah, those guys also like involved in the community, and the feedback and the way that they're showing their, even the description of their post, like really informative, and there are a ton of things to get from those things.
Yes.
That is like really nice.
Totally agree.
For example, you take Mattia, his work is so good, but we would like to know, his workflow. There should be some section in our campus group where little bit of workflow is mentioned, people learn from it. For this kind of project, this is what he has been using, or this is the type of lighting that he's been using. This was his thought. Some little bit of tips and tricks. I feel that people should share. The artists who are really seasoned and who really have lots of knowledge, it will be really helpful for the entire group.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to. I'll have Mattia at some point because he's really an amazing artist when it comes to both interiors and exteriors and architectural visualization in general. And then I'll ask him to give a. This is what we do with by inviting people to me in the show, is also that they don't only co-review with me and introduce themselves, but the last project they talk about is a project of their own, and this is where they can share more about their workflows. But maybe we can also do it as something separate. I promise to think about it. Let's move over to Vladimir. Do you have any wishes or ideas for the future of this community?
Um, for like this is the first time I'm actually actively participating, so not particular wishes from my side, but if you want me for anything, like if you want me to be involved or if you want to do like some kind of chat, whether it's about the products, whether it's about AI, anything else that may or may not be technical, feel free to ping me and we can do that.
There is no if here. There is definitely
Yeah.
we want this. And while I have you, Vladimir, do you have any general advice? Let's say for young artists, but also for those who may feel stuck, even if they're not that young, but don't know what to do and which direction to look at. Do you have a general advice? And this is a question that my last question to all of you. Do you have this general advice to the artists, especially young ones, who just start? Where do I start? What to do?
For me, it's mostly looking at new things. It's very easy to just over time get kind of stuck to a specific type of job or a specific type of workflow. So it helps to sometime like allocate a little bit of time to play with new things. Yes, there is the day job, and yes, you have to do it. But I found that it makes sense to just say, okay, this is my playtime for 5 days. I don't do my regular job. I just try to do something completely different, like maybe learn a new application that I haven't used before, or use a new tool that I've only heard about, but I want to check out, basically, things like that. It really helps to, well, first make things a little bit more interesting, and then also it gives you ideas and new perspectives.
So experimenting, trying out new things, not getting stuck in the
Yes.
same workflow. Thank you very much. Who wants to share another piece of themselves?
We talked about keep up with new technology and remember the storytelling, but to become a storyteller, you have to go back to art. So, start reading books, go to museums, take pictures with your phone, with your camera, with your eyes, grow your memory palette. Photography is very important for artists and creators. So people need to understand exactly. People they need to go back and feel why these pictures they create, follow great masters, watch films, analyze films. Next time you see a beautiful light, take a moment. When I follow Kalina on Instagram, he's always doing beautiful shots. And she's not even an artist, a creator on 3D Studio Max and stuff, but she knows how to see. And she knows how to capture a moment and the shadow pattern and the material and the light. This is what makes us special. So take a moment to analyze things around you, appreciate life, have fun, enjoy, and again, grow your memory palette. It's very important for me. It helped me. It's going to help you as well.
Nikos is so poetic. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I think every time I see Gobo, sir,
Go.
sir.
Those patterns, you have to pay attention. Remember, we talked about this in Berlin in the workshop, and then after, every time I see you, every time you see Gobo, it's like, yes, that's the Gobo, and you take a picture. I'm like, yes, that's the inspiration. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Training your eye. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, conversations also train your eye and attending events. So there was an amazing DDD session on digital drawing days in Italy, and I forgot the artist. I'll check later, but he was talking about how the eye works.
Yes.
And it was fascinating, the whole presentation, 1 hour, so relevant to the artists that were in the room, and how much actually what small percentage of a specific image or shot you're able to absorb. So such a small percentage of information that you actually capture with one glance at the space that you're in. So you need to understand how you guide that eye, where you direct it to.
Who's next?
Ricardo. Oh, sorry, Mariana. Sorry.
No, I just wanted to say that I fully agree with Nikos. I would start from basis, even if it's it seems to be not so useful, but it's super important to start with perspective, composition, and so on, and studying photography, because it's really, really the base, and observing surroundings and the real world it's really like super super important just to see how the light is working, how it's influencing all the forms and so on. So this
Totally.
is super important.
Well, I
Yeah.
will say that I agree
Thank
with
you.
everyone, and I would like to add that maybe the most important thing is to know what you do. Like, do you create images? Do you create videos? Are you a director? What the heck do you do? So as long as you know what you do, you won't be scared by technology, by market fluctuations or whatever, because you know your stuff. And I think that this is lacking in most artists nowadays. And people just give up on being an artist because of that, because they don't actually know what they do with their role. And then they give up because they see technology and they see new tools coming up, and they, okay, now anyone can do that. So let's give up and become a lawyer or whatever. Like, so I think that the most important thing, no matter your profession, you have to know what is in the core of that profession. If you want to create images or videos or whatever, if you're working with artists or characters or whatever, you need to understand why you do that. What's the value in that? For example, I have friends that were flown all the way from Brazil to Anaheim to work on Disney movies, animation movies, and it was like, okay, don't they have like modelers or animators in Anaheim already? Why are they flying people from Brazil? It's a long flight, right? But still, they're doing that because they want the talent, they want that person, they want that touch. So I think that we need to understand what's our touch. What do we do that makes us different from all the rest? The sooner you get that, the better.
Totally agree. Dhanushka, Amit.
And I would like to add, like, have fun, like, whatever you do, like, either it is visualizing or modeling or whatever it is. Like, I used to do this, like, whenever I see a great picture or a nice composed image, I need to, like, recreate it, like, somehow, like, how the hell did he get those lighting effects? And I while I'm working on my commercial work, like, throughout the week, I do that once a day for like half an hour or something like that, like, practice and recreate that light and Kobo effect and how it is getting from that curtain. And that is the thing that makes me go, like, like, improve myself day by day, like, after seeing something really great and try to recreate it, like, train my eye, like how Kalina said, like, training your eye, training your, like, eye to see the proportions, the color, the balance of the image, and, like, achieving stuff.
Good one. For me, like, for the young artist, it would be like, go out, look at the nature, like, observe how it is. As Nico said, take photographs, look at the references, do something, make mistakes, no problem. Ask for help, look at what you are doing, and, like, then from that, overcome the thing that you are not getting it. And then rise up, and that's how, like, the workflow will start. The main thing is you should have that keen eye to observe everywhere around you. Like, even in your house, there are so many key points all throughout the day that will, like, give you different illusions and different creativity ideas. So observe that. Like, keep clicking photographs. Even, like, after, I think so, it might be 1.5 years since, like, we have the Chaos Campus shows, because I'll really tell you, I've started clicking photograph wherever I go. Like, I see, okay, this is looking nice, let's click a photograph, put it in the library. Someday or the other, at least that will be useful. So, like, for the young artist, it is that, like, don't give up. Whatever it is, whatever you feel is right, just keep on doing. Believe in yourself, listen to your heart, and, like, try hard.
Wonderful advices. I would also add open your mind just generally and your senses as well. References aren't only images, they could also be a feeling that something, you're in a certain situation, you feel something. Try to remember this. Try to look around when you feel something nice, for example. Look around and see what you have around you. Next time when you're in a similar situation and you want to convey such a feeling, then you can think back about that feeling that you had and the situation you were in. So open your mind and also really have fun and enjoy more than just staying in front of the computer and do some sports, listen to music, watch movies, play games, read books, whatever. hang out with friends, because you never know where a good situation will meet you. And the more you do, the more you widen your horizons for different aspects of life that you later can also bring to paper with your 3D skills. And of course, the best advice of all, join the Chaos Campus, right? Um, so yeah, I think we can talk for another 2 or 3 hours, but we don't want to do it now because it would just be too long for the people. Even though I absolutely enjoy this, and I would really feel sad hitting the end live session button, but I think it's a good moment to pause it now with all your awesome advices. If you have any last words, now it's the time to share them, because afterwards we'll wrap up. So,
Kalina, this is for you. Let's keep pushing.
Let's keep pushing for sure. This is our
Let's
goal.
keep pushing, learning,
Not-
and have fun along the way.
Only pushing.
Only pushing. This is for Berlin tomorrow. Let's keep pushing. So yeah, let's keep pushing, learning, and have fun along the way. That's it for me, guys.
Absolutely.
wonderful final words. Should we end here? I think we should. Let's wrap up. Thank you all so very much for this wonderful event. Vladov,
Thank you,
Dhanushka,
guys.
Kali, Amit, Mariana, Nikos, Rick, you've been absolutely amazing. And same for you, dear audience, everyone who stayed with us those 2 hours. It was a huge pleasure hanging out with you. And we should definitely do it once again next year or sometime soon. Ulfat here saying thank you all for the advices. I really enjoyed the show. I didn't want it to end. We don't want either, but unfortunately, work is waiting and Berlin is waiting too. So, from my side and from everybody here, have a great day. Stay safe, be healthy, and we hope to see you again in 2 weeks. Then we'll gladly talk about the Berlin event. And until then, don't forget to rock on and keep it real, my friends. Much love. It was a pleasure.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, Ted.
everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye,
Thank you,
guys.
everyone. Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Tchau, tchau.
Auf Wiedersehen. Tschüss. Bye.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Tchau, gente.
Tchau, gente. Muito obrigada. Tá muito bom.